Hello, and thanks for joining us on this HOA leader video chat with two of our experts. My name is Gabriella Falisco. Today, I'm joined by Elizabeth White of Virginia and David Swedelson of California. And we're going to answer a question from a reader on whether a condo or HOA can allow a unit owner to sort of take over, modify, or use common area. In a nutshell, our reader asks if the board approves a request from a unit owner to plant a tree on common ground near their unit, is the owner forever responsible for the maintenance and insect control for the tree? And then what about new owners? If the unit sells, are they responsible? So in this video, we'll discuss whether condos and HOAs can make this grant, and if so, who approves it, whether it's the board or the members. And then we'll do a second video where we'll discuss the pros and cons of this type of grant, whether it might be wise or not, and how you can make any responsibilities binding on future owners. But before we jump in, I also want to let you know that our experts are providing advice and insight based on the laws in their states, and it's intended to be general guidance that you can use to help you when you approach a lawyer or another expert in your state. So let's jump right in and discuss whether associations can make this grant, and if so, who approves the request. Liz, jump in.
So yes, thanks, Gabriella. It really depends. And that sounds like such a lawyerly answer, right? But there are a lot of different considerations here, both legally and practically. To begin with, there's two overarching questions. Does the board have the authority to do it? And if the board has the authority, should the board do that? And there's a lot of different things to look at. On the authority, state laws vary. I'm licensed in Virginia, David's licensed in California. The laws vary on whether you're a condominium or a property owners association. In many states, ownership rights vary, depending on whether the association is a condominium unit owners association versus a property owners association. Now, remember with condominium ownership is common ownership, in which an owner gets 100% title to their unit, however that's defined, and an undivided interest in common into the common elements of the condominium, which means there's actually an ownership interest that all owners share into the condominium common elements, which then may even be further limited by limited use provisions that create limited common elements on the condominium side. So just right there, you've got a lot of legal things to look at, and analysis may very much vary between a property owners association and a condominium association. On top of the specific laws that deal with condominiums and property owners associations, we also have the fact that the association instruments themselves, which are contractual in nature, they can vary. Some will expressly authorize a board to grant easements or exclusive rights into the common areas or common elements. Some impose standards or limitations on the authority of the board and the board's analysis as to how they go about making that business decision. And just to make it even more fun, there's common law. That's what the courts say in each jurisdiction. This can vary considerably and can influence the outcome. In some states, the courts may be more willing to imply that there's authority based on certain language used in the instruments. Others may take a more strict construction kind of approach, whereas if there's not express authority, they'll find that there is no authority. Now, I know California's got an amazing body of law in this area, but not all states do. So for me here in Virginia, if there's not an express authorization, we usually say it's likely that the board may not convey exclusive use rights, given shared easements in common that are in the instruments, as well as just typical ownership rights in general with respect to the common areas. Obviously, with a condominium, you've got shared ownership rights, which makes it even more challenging. And in some instances, a court might see in a condominium context a move by the board to allow an owner to make exclusive use of a common element as a way of assigning that common element, taking it away from the general common elements and making it a limited common element. So David, I know there's a lot going on in California in this end as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting issue, and it's not as simple as people think. A lot of boards don't deal with it. They would just let the homeowner plant the tree in the common area, and then the question is are they really taking exclusive use of the common area, or are they saying, I'm putting this tree for everybody to enjoy, so it's not exclusive to me? But it's even broader than just putting a tree in the common area. What about a modification to the unit? And this usually impacts condominiums more than the homeowners associations. But what about a homeowner that opens up walls and moves plumbing and electrical that's common area? Who's going to be responsible for that? Or windows, which are most often in California, the association's responsibility, and the homeowner replaces it and then it leaks a year later. So those are really considerations that need to be dealt with. We see a lot of this come about when a homeowner wants to expand their patio, for example, into the common area. And in California, they may be able to do that without a homeowner vote. It depends, like you said before. So this is a complicated legal issue.
Thanks, Liz and David, for your quick takes on the topic. And listeners, thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us again next month.